Alright guys, back here with another video today, and yes, we're in the same clothes. This is just a continuation from the last video. Just doing a bunch of recording tonight. Didn't want to put everything in one video as it just would have been way too long. So, here's part two. I'm going to show you guys what we're working with here. I'm going to do a little walk around of Brady's GMC here. Show you guys what is under the hood that made this thing do such nasty pulls and make cool sounds that you guys saw in the last video. So I'll have him pop the hood here and get this thing started. So as you guys can see, that is the new headlights that are going on this rig as well, which you can see these stock headlights, not stock, but the aftermarket headlights he has in here now, are going to be swapped out. They are well overdue, needing to be swapped. Of course, these could be saved. It's not that really bad of a job to sand these and look new again. But as you can see, how clean is that? It's pretty much daytime running light in here. Everything's black here. You have a projector there, which is super cool. And of course, I'm assuming the high beams probably go there. But that is just a menacing headlight. It just looks so aggressive. It's very similar to, if you want to follow me down this journey here, it's very similar to a 2020 Denali, where, you know, the 16s, like my body style, or 15, 16, just had a complete C, so it would have stopped here. But the 2020s continue on top, just like this headlight. So that is a cool, unique feature, I think, that brings, you know, an 05 up to newer times. And as far as under the hood here, as you can see, this is a completely nasty setup. I'm gonna let Brady kind of talk about what's been done to this thing, what he had done. You know, of course, in the last video, I kind of told you guys what's in this, but I'll let him go, you know, just over this one more time and maybe go into further detail about everything you guys see here.
So, as I've told you in the past, and as Kevin told you, it's a LS2, it's built for boost, you know, forged internals, everything like that. You already saw the turbo kit, had that all laid out for you. There have been some adjustments from the motor that I got in the crate. I made an adjustment to the high ram intake, you know. Did some research, and a lot of, like, I had an LS2 intake on it originally. The issue with those, though, is it doesn't fill a lot of space. And with this engine compartment, I mean, there's a lot of space to fill. So I put the high ram intake on that there. I have some other powder coat goodies on the way, possibly in this area, possibly in that area over there. Just kind of tie everything together. It's gonna be a big project with even some things like relocating some lines to hide some things. I have a really big trans cooler in here as well. When I had the transmission shop put my transmission together, it's almost as big as a radiator. So there's a lot of coolant here, which is nice. But it's making the power that I wanted to make. It's actually not fully tuned and turned up, believe it or not. The timing's really low. We're at like 11 degrees. 18 pounds of boost. I can get a lot more boost out of that turbo if I want to, but I can't even hook right now as it is, so it's one of those things where just safe driving, reliable driving, just a lot more work in the engine compartment, a lot more work on the front end. Plan on doing a lot of paint matching, plan on doing a lot of new lighting. So I mean, it's just getting started with the project itself. Performance-wise, it's there, but now got to make it look good.
So yeah, as he mentioned, guys, there will be a new hood coming on this thing here, you know, in the next couple months or so. He's trying to get everything done before Daytona, so, you know, we pretty much had about 2 months for that, I believe, around there, roughly. So, of course, with the new headlights, with some paint match on the front end here, of course, everything under the hood here is already, you know, pretty much done besides some dress-up stuff. It's pretty much tying everything into a full show truck, as well as, you know, performance as well, which you have a lot of people that care all about performance and no looks, and a lot of people that care only about looks and no performance. So we're more on the side of looking good and also performing good. So that's where me and him have always jived and, you know, been close on ever since, you know, talking about this truck specifically in 9th grade. So as you guys are able to see here, there's a catch can here. Of course, this is where the meth gets injected, so there is a meth system on here. Which is actually nice. It uses a stock tank, so this is where the meth gets filled. So there's no more window washer fluid, but it's really cool how Alky Control, which is based out of Tampa, uses these stock tanks, so you don't have to have, you know, a tank fit in somewhere else under here. Of course, the high ram, as he mentioned, we have a Turbonetics 7575 billet ball bearing turbo. We have the return style fuel system. Everything's, you know, black braided. We have the fuel pressure regulator there. We have the ATI super damper down there. And as mentioned, this motor is a brand new motor, never been ran before. Fully forged internals, Lil Jon turbo cam. I don't remember what heads were on this. Remember what heads were on it?
243, 243?
243 heads, of course head studs. It has, you know, nice roller rockers on it. I don't have the full, you know, build sheet in front of me, but there was a lot of nice things in it. I don't remember the exact brand of the rods and pistons and crank and all that, but everything has been upgraded from stock and built specifically for boost. You know, it's main studded, head studded, everything is studded. So hopefully it does not come apart. That's the goal, of course. And you know, mainly to build this to make good power, but be more reliable compared to running on the ragged edge like Silver Bullet over there. So more of today's video is going to be getting the new wheels on this truck here. So if any of you guys know the 05, 07 trucks that a lot of people have, you know, they're the 2500s, the track width is different from the front to the back. So when you put any wheel on it that's aftermarket with some offset, it shows it even worse. So the fronts will stick out way further than the backs. So the way to get it perfect, pretty much, as close as you can, is to run an 1.5 inch spacer. Now with the current sodas on here, they actually have pockets where it's perfect if you run even like a 1 inch spacer and your stock studs stick out further than the spacer, they will fit in between these little pockets that are in the wheels. Of course, as you guys know with forged wheels, which you guys will see here in a second, they do not have that. It's completely flat. They only mill out the holes, you know, for the lug pattern for the specific vehicle. So to run that 1.5 inch spacer in the back to get these wheels on here to match the front so you don't have the back skinnier than the front, just need to trim the tips off these stock studs just in the back so we can slip the spacer on, slip the wheel on, and of course the wheel is not, you know, not able to slide all the way on without hitting the stock studs. So that's the goal here, as well as in the front. As you can see, there's been very minimal trimming to make these work. Of course, he is lowered on stock keys and a 3-inch shock out back, so he's a lot lower. Just keep that in mind, guys. He's not leveled, but of course that's for performance reasons to be able to launch hard. But we'll need to trim a little bit up front, trim the stock studs out back, so we have a little bit of work to do. We're going to get working on that here, but let me show you guys the sick wheels that he picked up for this thing first. They are super sick wheels. I'm sure you guys have never seen another set like this, which once again is another reason why he built this truck, is to be different and not like everyone else.
So I just picked these things up yesterday. I bought them used. The wheels themselves and the tires, we can see there's a lot of tread life on these tires. They're not 420S's, unfortunately, but they're brand spanking new. You can still see they have a lot of the nipples on it. Have less than 1,000 miles on them. There's a local kid here who's selling them. He travels a lot for work, so he had no need for keeping these expensive wheels on his truck. So I got them for a steal. Did some research on them, and they're actually special force wheels. They're the Aero G32. So if you want to look them up online, I did some research on them and try to look up some different styles of them. And what really drew my eye to these was the polished face here with the black inlay on the American Force. That's what really stood out to me, and I liked it a lot. And most of the time when I looked these up online, they didn't even have that. So very unique wheel. Love the pattern in it. It's actually funny because I always give Kevin a hard time for having directional forged wheels that are 24-inch that he can't turn, because these are 22 10.5s, you know. Now these are 24 by 14s. So, and they're directional. So I kind of been going against my word on what I say I like and got these because I have to keep up with Kevin now.
Blame it on me, I see how it is.
But yeah, peer pressure, guys. That's what got me into getting these.
What about the finish?
Yeah, so it's actually a matte black, which I think is really cool as well compared to the gloss black. You know, it definitely sets up a little bit different from others. It has the chrome cap on it. I'm thinking about buying the matte black cap to throw on there as well. Play around with those, just kind of interchange them as I like.
I mean, these wheels are like flawless. I mean, for being used wheels, you would think you would find, camera won't focus here, right? But you would think you would find with black wheels, scratches everywhere in here. Normally around, you know, where people put the lug nuts in and they have, you know, your socket over that, they normally always nick up this black. I mean, these are literally like new condition. Of course, there's little things here and there that you'll see just with any wheel. You really can't run wheels and tires without having little things happen here and there, but these are as new as you could buy and steal them for almost half the price of what this whole setup is new. The funny thing is I've seen these wheels on Facebook Marketplace for sale locally here, and I didn't send them to him because they were his lug pattern. If they were 8x180, I would have bought them 100%. His truck is 8x6.5. You know, my truck's 8x180. So when I seen these, for the price he paid for them, I'd have bought them this fast. But of course, they wouldn't fit my truck. I didn't even think of sending them to him because he mentioned he would never buy a wheel bigger than a 22. He would never buy a 14 wide. and he has exactly, and he would never buy directional wheels. What do we got, man?
We got 14
watt, 24 by 14 directional wheels. So I'm super happy though. So the project today is to get these things stopped on the truck. Super unique wheels, super unique truck. So bring you guys along with getting these things on so you can kind of see it before and after. All right guys, so as you can see here, these are the old farm wheels. No, I'm just kidding, they seem to be cleaned. But essentially this is where your studs poke through. These are the gaps I was talking about, where your studs can stick through if you run a shorter spacer, anything less than 2 inches wide. When you come over to the back of the forces, which these haven't been wiped down, but I mean they're mint, they just look a little bit dusty, they seem to be cleaned. But you only have the holes here for your studs to stick through. So what's gonna have to happen is, we're gonna have to measure exactly how far past the spacer these studs are sticking. We'll mark those, we'll cut all of them, we'll put the spacer back on, and these studs, of course, as you can see, there's a lot of studs not even being used. So it's not gonna affect any structural integrity. We're just taking the tip off here. We're gonna cut all the tips off of these, put the spacer back on. So if you take it off right now, we'll put it back on and get the wheels on. Alright guys, as you can see, we have completed the rear passenger side. Every stud is cut. This probably took overall 45 minutes, just letting the blade cool down in between each cut. Cuts through much faster. This was pretty easy, to be honest. The tips of these studs anyways aren't even used. They're more used as a guide, where pretty much the rest of the stud that we have here is actually the working part of the stud. So what we have here now, so with where we're at now, with this sliding on here, as you can see, these studs do not stick out past this. And that was the issue with this sticking past this. The wheel wasn't sliding on, so now we have all of them trimmed and looking beautiful. I'm gonna get these torqued down and we're gonna slap the wheel on and show you how it looks. Alright guys, so we got this one side done and I'll show you guys how nice it lines up. I will say if you guys have this body style truck and you're looking to put wide wheels on it, you definitely need to do 1.5" spacers on the back if you want to have it perfectly level, pretty much within 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch between the front and the back. The back side of it right here is where the fender liner lines up, pretty much right here, showing how far it sticks out, how much tread we have sticking out. And in the back, it's the exact same. So if you guys are looking to achieve the correct setup and have them both sticking out the same, 1.5" spacers in the back is what you need. let's just take a second to admire how sick this is. We don't have the back on the ground yet. I'm gonna get the other side done first. But this is looking so sick. All right guys, so back here with all the wheels on the truck on both sides, this is looking so mean. Of course, with 14 wides on a lower truck, it never works without any trimming. So there was some very minor trimming done to this to fit the 10.5 wides before, which of course are nothing like 14 wides with 20 more millimeters of offset, or 22 to be exact. So he's marking that up now. We're gonna trim that, which is super easy on these trucks because it's all plastic as far as the bumpers go, or mine's steel. It's always a nightmare to cut. But I forgot to show you guys, I actually got the sway bar back on my truck and the rock lights under the hood. So I want to show you guys that real quick. So there's the sway bar on, guys. It looks super clean. I know it's kind of hard to see it. I can't really fit the camera inside this wheel well, but it really draws a little bit more blue to the front end to complete it. And I eventually do want to do the torsion bars just to kind of give the whole front to back appearance. But I'm super happy with how this came out. Looks so good. Alright guys, so here's under the hood, and as you can see I have a rock light there and a rock light there, and it lights this up very well. I'm going to cut the lights off in the garage to show you guys what it would look like at night.
That's it.
As you can see guys, it's completely dark over here, and this is under the hood. It is lit up just like it's daytime, if not better than that. So pretty much if I go to any truck shows or car shows and I pop the hood and it happens to be nighttime, all this beautiful piping under the hood can easily be seen. And of course, with it being so beautiful, why not be able to show it off at nighttime as well? And I'm so happy with how this came out. And pretty much the angle of these lights shines perfectly on everything here. I don't really have any dark spots. I thought with having two lights I may have some dark spots, but it shines out really well. All right guys, so we got the bumper trimmed and pretty much he is able to clear now. Now, of course, our goal was to trim just enough. So, of course, I know a lot of people hate on trimming the bumper, but when you're this low on 14 wides, there's not much else you can do. So we got it cut perfect. He pretty much has, I'd say, half of an inch, pretty much on the whole way of the bumper from when the tire is, right at that point about to hit it. So it's literally looks like it's cut perfect. It's the same thing I did on my truck. I cut it just enough to work. So I think it looks the best that way compared to a massive cut. You turn the wheel and there's a huge gap between the tire and the bumper that's cut already, which already doesn't look perfect. So I think this came out really, really good. Mind you, no driving's been done yet. I know on mine, I was really close and I took it out for a drive and I was worried I'd hit. I didn't, so I think we'll be good with this one as well. But we're gonna back out of the garage and see how it does. So you guys can see right now, he's very close to hitting the cab. There is a piece of paper of thickness between that there. And as I was mentioning, there's a really small gap here. But, my finger can't even move here, but it's, sideways it can a little bit. But there's that small cut there, which doesn't even look nearly as aggressive as mine does. And I mean, roughly the same. But nothing like the seam and beaver mod that you see some people do. And this truck is lowered super low, way lower than mine, on 14 wides. Alright guys, so Brady is now gone. You can see no trucks behind me. And I tried to get some footage of it outside, but it's actually raining here. And the lens fogged up immediately from going from the AC garage to outside where it's very humid. So I got no footage out there. However, he can turn. He is hitting the cab pretty early, so we'll kind of see how that lies with how much turning he can actually do. The bumper is completely fine. The trimming is good there, but the fender flare may need to be trimmed or taken off, or possibly just, he may just have to live with not having much turning radius, because I know he doesn't want to raise the front back up at all. Because he doesn't want to lose the good angles for launching in a four-wheel drive. So we'll see what happens. But I know I can live with mine. I don't know how much turning radius I have compared to his because it's about 2 in the morning right now. So didn't do much testing as far as driving around. But this is the end of today's video, guys. I will get you guys a good look of it during the daytime. and of course go over how much training radius he has with doing normal daily driving type things. So stay tuned, guys. We will have that charcoal truck, which is at Trey Drifts on Instagram. We will have his 15 LML back here for some weight reduction and some noise additions to his truck. So that video will be after this one, and of course we'll get the headlights in Brady's truck, and I'll probably put the daylight shots in that video as well. So as always, thanks for tuning in. I swear I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.